Hello and welcome to the special election day broadcast on the print. Now, today is the day that we got the results of four state elections, and in which the BJP has swept three states and the Congress has managed to get Telangana. We have with us Mr. Yogendra Yadav, renowned psephologist and social activist, and he was also a part of the Bharat Jodo Yatra with the Congress party. So we'll try and get what he gauged from the ground. Mr. Yadav, before I go to the three states that the BJP won, I wanted to come to you about Telangana first, because the Yatra went through Telangana, the Bharat Jodo Yatra, and the Congress is crediting um, a large part of the victory to how the Yatra was in Telangana, and also, of course, to the fact that Revant Reddy has led from the front. So, how do you see the results in Telangana, firstly?
Two quick health warnings. One is that I don't see myself as a psephologist. I'm a political activist. And second, I think I keep saying, and I'm sure Shekhar would love it, that all political commentators should learn from cricket. Uh, Cricket commentary, that is to say. So I think the ground rule should be no winner gets everything right and no loser gets everything wrong. So in that perspective, let's start with Telangana. It is not that BRS was a very unpopular government and people were just waiting to throw it out. No, that's not the case. BRS was seen to be a government which has brought more development, better infrastructure, roads, electricity, and water. But people thought maybe he hasn't quite delivered on the kind of promises he has made. Is there an alternative? There was none, and BRS looked like a party which was cruising along. Then comes Congress, suddenly energized, A, by selection of a president, Revant Reddy, who's not originally from the Congress, very controversial choice, but the leadership sticks by him. Two, there is Bharat Jodo Yatra that generates enthusiasm on the ground. Three, there is Karnataka election that has a spillover effect on Telangana. All these three things create a base where Congress then builds on. So to see only Bharat Jodo Yatra would be an overstatement. To say Bharat Jodo Yatra made no difference would be silly. I think they're dealing with things which have multiple causalities, and that's what happened. So Telangana is a story of how Congress can bounce back from where a recovery seemed impossible. Congress was already below 30%. Everyone had written off Congress, and a year ago, everyone told me, अब तो नंबर 2 पे बीजेपी है या कांग्रेस तो नंबर 3 पे चल रहा है. So it's a story of how you can come back from almost a lost situation. The other three states, of course, are a story of how you can lose almost a battle which you could have won, which you have won.
So, sir, I was actually just coming to that. In the other three states, it seemed, especially in Madhya Pradesh and Chhattisgarh, for example, it looked before the election, all of us who went on the ground, all the reports that we were getting before the exit polls said that the Congress was poised comfortably in Chhattisgarh and that the campaign was very aggressive in Madhya Pradesh. And, there was a chance that the Shivraj Singh Chauhan government would be overturned. But we see a BJP sweep in Madhya Pradesh and a lead by a very, very good margin in Chhattisgarh. So, if you could explain Chhattisgarh first, because Bhupesh Baghel was seen as a very popular chief minister. He seemed to have all his welfare schemes right. He had this Hindu push with his Ram Chhattisgarh ka bhancha hai. He had that narrative going. So, what went wrong for the Congress in Chhattisgarh?
I must confess, I don't fully understand Chhattisgarh. I didn't travel as much as many of you would have done. My sense was that a bit of overconfidence on the part of Congress. The party leadership almost took it for granted that Chhattisgarh was theirs and did not push the kind of effort that needed to be put towards the end. Uh, and the fact that some of the big announcements of the party were not quite reflected on the ground, what the party was doing on the ground. There were these issues. And this is not a state where that Congress could take for granted. To my mind, one of the critical deficiencies was in the scheduled tribe areas. Among the ST constituencies, the BJP actually leads in the ST constituencies, which were seen to be traditional Congress areas. So, a complacence plus neglect of the ST issues is what may have cost the Congress the election in Chhattisgarh.
And what do you think went wrong for them in Madhya Pradesh, sir? Because, in fact, when you were speaking to Congress leaders, even till yesterday, they were pretty sure of a victory in Madhya Pradesh. Um, do you think this is a last, probably in the last 2 weeks, is when the Hawa changed, as we say? Because the reports again that we are getting is that the Congress had probably become a little complacent towards the end while Shivraj Singh Chauhan went on his blitzkrieg. So, how do you see the Madhya Pradesh results?
I must make a confession. Um, I will give you some explanation. But to be absolutely honest, I do not quite understand this verdict, and the margin of BJP's victory is simply beyond what I can explain. Um,
Hmm.
and I would just leave it at that. No accusation, no other things, but this is uh, beyond what can be explained. What I can explain is the following. Congress began on a strong footing. There was a sense of badlav everywhere. All your colleagues who may have traveled in Madhya Pradesh would have come back with tales of log badlav chahte. Again, there was no
Hmm.
anger with Shivraj Chauhan. People thought he had done some things. People thought he was a nice guy. But ठीक है, बहुत हो गया, bas, enough. अब जाने. And in any case, they had come to power illegitimately 4 years ago, and the government had done nothing special. No, not even a BJP supporter would tell you that this was an extraordinary government of the BJP, the last 4 years of BJP governance in Madhya Pradesh. And for this party then to win by a margin of 9 percentage points, this is extraordinary. Even for BJP, it's an extraordinary success. What has the BJP done in the last 4 years? What has the BJP done in this election compared to the previous election, which gives it a 9 point advantage? It simply beats. I don't know. If you ask any observer of Madhya Pradesh politics, they would tell you that Congress fought this election in a relatively better mode than the previous one. Congress usually is much poorer at fighting elections than the BJP is. Congress was relatively more cohesive this time than it was last time. Congress had clear leadership this time, unlike last time. Last time, Congress got 5 seats more than the BJP. This time, it's washed out. So I mean, I can give you some grand explanations, the two broad things that I noticed missing. But all this is retrospective wisdom. One
Hmm.
was that Congress didn't have a strong narrative. What is it that you're promising to the people of Madhya Pradesh? That was not clear. Not that you need a good narrative in every election. And second, Congress's social engineering was simply not there. Madhya Pradesh is experiencing mandalization for the first time, and Congress leaders knew that they needed to flow with it. But they just couldn't finally when it came to giving tickets. BJP gave more
Hmm.
tickets to OBCs than the Congress. But does that explain 9% victory for the BJP? I'm afraid it doesn't. Don't ask me for more explanations. I don't know.
So, because we were talking about social engineering, there's another significant trend that we see in this election, especially in Madhya Pradesh and Chhattisgarh. So, for example, in the Bastar belt last time, Congress won 11 out of 12 seats. In Sarguja, again, they won 14 out of 14 seats. This time, they're almost wiped out from both these places. Again, if you look at the tribal areas of Madhya Pradesh, same story. Congress did relatively well last time. This time, the BJP has taken an edge. So, why do you think the Congress could not consolidate the tribal vote behind it?
You could almost add Rajasthan to the same story because in
Yeah,
Rajasthan,
true.
again, the
True.
BJP has done much better in the Adivasi areas. I think something remarkably new is happening in Adivasi areas, which no party is able to quite tap in, which is that, you know, there is no Kashiram of the scheduled tribes, but there is a wave of that kind which is coming now. The new Adivasi leadership, which is educated, young, they are sick and tired of the old leadership, much of which comes from the Congress party. And so,
Hmm.
in a sense, Congress leadership becomes a symbol of all that is old and rotten in the Adivasi leadership. They want to throw away that leadership. And in the process, Congress gets thrown away. If only Congress could align with the new Adivasi leadership, which Congress could see, which is there on the ground. This is the story in Rajasthan. Rajasthan, you have a party called Bharatiya Adivasi Party, a party which was there in about 15 seats. The Congress could have struck an alliance for reasons best known to Congress. That alliance never happened. That party has won, I think, 3 seats and managed to defeat Congress in another 8 or 9. Now,
Hmm.
so in a sense, there is a new Adivasi upsurge, and Congress's inability to connect to that upsurge is, to my mind, a very critical reason why Congress is being beaten across the state among the Adivasi segments.
That's right. So I'll go to Rajasthan before I come to two broad questions that I have. Rajasthan, honestly, we thought the results went as people were expecting them to go. Um, but do you think, given that the Congress has about 70 seats there now, they performed better than what was expected of them, and what worked for the BJP?
Look, the trend in Rajasthan is that Ashok Gehlot ji runs a good government and loses the election very bad. He's done it twice, and he's now managed a hat trick out of it, which is a very poor politics, actually. Uh, this time, it seemed that Congress would do better. Honestly, I thought they would get at least 80 seats or more, which they haven't. So it's poorer than I expected. Although in terms of vote share, it's only a 3 percentage point difference, which is a manageable difference. If only Congress had realized that while again there was no anti-incumbency against Ashok Gehlot or against Congress, there was enormous anger against the MLAs whose tickets
Hmm.
uh, Congress could not get itself to deny them tickets. BJP can get to sideline Vasundhara Raje Scindia. BJP can sideline Shivraj Singh Chauhan. Congress cannot sideline its own sitting MLAs, cannot just deny them tickets. That was one critical factor. And second was, of course, what I've already mentioned, inability to have an alliance with BAP and CPM. These two things
Hmm.
cost Congress another 15 seats. So, in one sense, if Congress had not made these two mistakes, Congress would have been in the game. I'm not saying Congress would have won because in Rajasthan, every 5 years they change. But after a slew of very decent policies, and I dare say, even when Ashok Gehlot has lost, that Chiranjeevi Yojana should be a model for the rest of the country about healthcare. Some of these are very good schemes. Gig worker scheme is a very sensible scheme. So the trouble is that once a government loses an election after this, it doesn't become a political model.
Hmm.
So that is the sad part of it. But as I said, Ashok ji now has a hat trick of this.
So speaking about Mr. Gehlot and Mr. Kamalnath, Mr. T.S. Singh, they are also, counting still on, but I believe that he's lost by a very narrow margin. So this is a generation of the Congress. Like Kamalnath came into the Congress through Sanjay Gandhi. Ashok Gehlot was one of Rajiv Gandhi's man. T.S. Singh, Deo has been there for a long time. So I know we shouldn't be writing obituaries in politics, but do you think that this is the time that the old guard has finally come to the end of its tenure, and this will be or should be replaced by a younger leadership like the Congress has put in place in Telangana?
I'm not speaking of specific individuals. Some of them can be good, some of them can be bad. But as a generalization, yes, of course, it's time for old guard to go. It's time to get new people, young people. But young need not only be biologically young. The young have to bring in something new. They cannot just be scions of some dynasty, some family. You have to really get people with a new vision. Congress leadership announces a new vision. They talk about social justice. Congress, for the first time, talks about caste census and so on. But no one in the party reflects that at all. Rahul Gandhi attacks Adani. Congress's own chief ministers are standing with. So, if Congress needs a new vision and Congress feels that they need a new vision, then of course a new leadership has to reflect that vision. So, not just people who happen to be young, but those who bring some new energy, some new ideas, some new social base. That is what the Congress needs.
Being the devil's advocate, sir, do you think if Scindia had stayed back or if Pilot was leading the party, then the Congress's fate would have been different in, say, Madhya Pradesh or Rajasthan?
I doubt it. I think we tend to give too much importance to some faces. It's natural that we convert every process into an event and every event into a person. But that's not necessarily what the elections are all about. I doubt if these two would have made that kind of a difference.
Last question, sir. We have heard this narrative that these set of elections are like the semi-final to the Lok Sabha elections. We heard this back in 2018 as well. Though there was no similarity between what we saw in the 2018 state elections and 2019 Lok Sabha elections. So, how correct is it to make this comparison, and how do you think these results bode for the 2024 Lok Sabha elections?
I don't like the metaphor of semi-final because it just means very little. Just as 2018 election told you very little about what would happen in 2019 in these states, similarly, 2023 outcome need not be replicated in 2024. If you go strictly in terms of numbers, the simple fact is that 82 Lok Sabha seats were at stake. Last time, BJP had 65 of them. Congress had only 6. At the end of the day, today, Congress's tally is bound to go beyond 6. It'll go up to 11 or 12, largely because of Telangana. However, that's a statistical consolation. The fact is that while it's not bound to happen, it is a setback. It's a setback to the morale. It's a setback to a certain narrative that Congress on the comeback narrative has suffered a setback. This is undeniable. Now, can it be repaired? Yes, it can be repaired. It would require Congress to learn the lessons. It would require Congress to see that it needs other allies. It requires allies to see that this is not merely a defeat of the Congress, but a setback for the entire opposition. They would need to come up with some kind of a vision for the country and translate into ground action. I really hope that on 6th of December, when they meet, they consider some of these things.
All right, sir, thank you so much for speaking to us. And we hope to have you more on our shows. And of course, you write for us as well. And we hope to pick your brain more often. Thank you so much for speaking to us.
Thank you. Thank you very much.